If you're going through a rough chapter right now and feel unmotivated or stuck, I get it. I've been struggling with motivation recently more than ever since my brother passed away. Because sometimes it feels like, well, why does anything even matter anymore? Everything seems pointless. Why bother to put my stuff out there? Why stay optimal? I mean, we're all going to meet our demise anyway at some point. But then I level out and know that this is just my sadness talking. And I tell myself that difficult moments are simply here to help us evolve into better versions of ourselves. I don't know if that's true, but it's what I tell myself anyway. It's what usually gets me through difficult times. It's true that most people struggle after a major life event, but most also recover after some period of time, in different degrees, of course. But I know that some don't. I mean, we've all heard of the situations when an elderly loved one passes away and their spouse passes away shortly after. I recall a long time ago, some family friends had lost their daughter, and the mom became so distraught that she drank so much due to her grief that her liver, her body failed a year later. It was really sad. Anyway, I recently was wondering how some people recover from losses or big setbacks like a layoff, like a breakup or an injury, and then how others can't seem to recover as well. So I looked into it a bit and found some interesting information actually. In general, researchers found 3 distinct patterns among bereaved individuals. People don't all grieve in the same way. Some struggle to recover from the loss and remain overwhelmed by grief. Others gradually adapt and regain their footing. That's the majority of people. And third, some people, while still deeply affected by the loss, eventually report positive personal changes. This is a phenomenon known as post-traumatic growth. In this particular study from a Barcelona University, UAB, published in Behavioral Psychology, they researched resilient coping strategies and emotional regulation, which point to this third bucket. Let's get into what this means. Resilience coping is about how you handle the problem and how you respond to a difficult situation. It's when you look for creative ways to work around or solve a problem rather than just enduring it. Emotional regulation is about how you handle the feeling. Can you calm yourself down when you're upset or boost your mood when you're feeling down rather than being swept along by whatever you're feeling? One is, what's my next move? The other is, what do I do with this knot in my chest? And these go hand in hand. You can be great at one and weak at the other, which is exactly what the study found. They are separate ingredients. Resilience and emotional regulation are not the same trait, wearing 2 names. But they did find something interesting linked to resilience, and that is life satisfaction. Resilience and life satisfaction are linked. Then, when you add emotional regulation, it compounds the effect. So, just to bring it all together, we've got resilience plus emotional regulation with kind of this bonus effect, as I see it, increased life satisfaction. For example, let's say 2 coworkers get laid off at the same time. Ginny's the type who's able to pivot. She finds a side project. She turns it into a fresh start story. She tells at dinner parties. That's resilient coping. Not toughness exactly, just a habit of treating situations as solvable. Jim, on the other hand, gets stuck. Maybe he keeps replaying what's wrong, waiting things to fix themselves. 6 months later, Ginny's in a better spot. Not just because she bounces back, but because she's also good at facing what she feels instead of pushing it down. What's interesting is researchers found exactly this pattern, resilience and emotional regulation, each help on their own. But when someone has both, the effect compounds. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's more like 1 + 1 = 12. It amplifies. People with high marks on both traits report meaningfully higher satisfaction than people with just one or neither. These are the folks who believe they can have control over their emotions and their state of mind. Resilience, therefore, may have a positive predictive effect on the level of satisfaction with one's life. While some people remain stuck in their pain, others gradually heal, and some eventually discover new strength. deeper relationships, or a renewed sense of purpose. This doesn't mean that the grief or despair disappears. It means that even after profound pain, personal growth is possible. Dr. Joaquin Luminero, who led the research, said some of the characteristics of being resilient can be worked on and improved, such as self-esteem and being able to regulate one's emotions. Learning these techniques can offer people the resources needed to help them adapt and improve their quality of life. And this isn't just true for getting through a single hard moment either. I found a couple of striking studies related to this type of mindset. This next study out of Yale tracked older adults over a decade and found something similar. People who held more positive beliefs about aging, who didn't buy into the idea that growing older only means decline, were significantly more likely to actually improve in memory and physical ability over the following years. Different life stage, different research team, but the same basic pattern. What you believe about your capacity to handle or grow through hard things seems to shape whether you actually do. Then, there's a study that tracked nearly 700 older adults, none of whom had fallen in years prior, and measured how they felt about their own aging before anything happened. A year later, some of them did fall. The people who had initially shown more positive aging mindsets, who believed age wasn't holding them back, were dramatically more likely to physically recover in the months after a fall. We're talking odds cut by half or more. The mindset came first, the fall came second, and the outcome tracked the mindset, not just the injury. Across these multiple studies, the first tracking students through stressful life events, one following older adults over 12 years, and one studying recovery after a fall. For each, a consistent pattern shows up. People who actively look for ways to work through hard situations report higher life satisfaction. Those who refuse to accept decline as inevitable are significantly more likely to actually improve over time. And people who go into a setback believing it won't stop them from living the life they want are far less likely to end up stuck afterwards. Different ages, different adversities, same through line. When life pushes against you, push back. The people who meet the hit with the belief in their own capacity rather than resignation are the ones who come out on the other side stronger, or at least happier. I remember that my brother never let anything get in his way, and when he got a rare type of cancer, he pushed back for as long as he could. He lived life on his own terms. He lived life to the fullest. Even after his diagnosis, he started his own successful business. He traveled, he sang in bars, he loved his family. He did not let anything hold him back. We all could take a page out of his playbook. I know I sure intend to. Thanks for listening.